In the last 12 months, I've seen a rise of people complaining about movie trailers, particularly horror movie trailers. And trust me, I'm not hating on it. I'm completely with you guys. So I figured it was time to sit down. Let's get this all off our chest together and talk about the issues at hand. And let's have a little bit of a rant, because it's okay to rant sometimes. And this one, we need to get off our chest together. And because the issue at hand is just getting worse and worse, I feel like we just need to get all our aggression out in one video and then we can move on. So this is why trailers suck. A rant. If this is your first time on my channel, hello, my name is Emma. I'm also known as Spookyastronauts here on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram at Spookyastronauts, and I do 2 videos every single week talking about horror films, horror-related content, a lot of reviews, deep dives, all that kind of stuff. So if you guys are into horror movies, definitely hit subscribe. If you like this video, give it a like. And don't forget to hit the bell so you actually get notified when my videos come up. And of course, let me know your thoughts on all of this, what we're going to talk about today, down in the comments. I can't wait to read your rants. And I did ask you on Twitter your thoughts, so I will be putting them throughout this video. I asked you what you thought about movie trailers. I had a lot of what you wrote on Twitter already in my notes for this video, so it was quite funny. I think you guys know exactly what movies we're going to touch on today. Also, I will leave a list of what movies I'm about to talk about, just in case for spoilers, but I will let you know before I talk about each one if it's a spoiler and give you a time code to jump to. A lot of information, but I don't want to ruin things for you because these trailers have already done that for us. Obviously, in this video, I'm going to be talking about mainly horror movies, but this can be applied to all movies. And I do have one example that's not horror. But anyway, let's get into it, and a little bit of history first. What people regard as the first ever movie trailer began playing in 1913. In these days, there was only one screen at a cinema, and it'd play a continuous loop of the same film. The first trailer came about when a promotional behind-the-scenes clip was added to the tail end of the loop. So it'd play in between the film restarting. When this very early marketing ploy gained interest, big studios jumped at the opportunity to create a buzz for their features. And in 1916, trailers began popping up in cinemas everywhere. Mostly they had a little title and boasted the cast, but they didn't give away much at all. From here, the National Screen Service took over majority of the work, and without creative direction from the filmmakers or even the studios themselves, they cut majority of Hollywood's film trailers. Nowadays, studios want more control, and we have seen a huge rollout of boutique editing and marketing houses all over. A lot of them taking over the feel, design, and execution of the trailer. But as things began to snowball for the marketing world, something else was happening: the rise of technology, handheld devices, VOD, and streaming platforms. We now have an overflow of content, which means advertisements need to hike up the stakes for a chance at winning our precious time. This brings me to the dreaded teaser trailer. A teaser can be anywhere from 10 to 60 seconds long, and they're used as the initial hype product to get the marketing campaign for a film going. But I can confidently say that no one wants any of the major plots spoilt in these teaser trailers. In fact, what I want from a teaser trailer is to know the kind of vibe of the film, not necessarily all of the storyline. I just want to know what kind of film I am expecting when I'm gonna go see it. And really, because of what I'm gonna talk about today, I don't watch a lot of full trailers. It does take the teaser trailer to get me hooked, and then I try and stay away. But the thing is, because they only have 10 to 60 seconds, they need to try and get as much action-packed content in that moment to really hype up the movie and also get us really interested. They're not gonna put in the slow, boring shots. They're gonna put in the moments that make you go, wow. So with horror movies, it's usually a montage of the film, all of the action, the gore, some kills, which freaking sucks, and they end with a strong graphic so you remember the title of the film. Don't get me wrong, I think all trailers are really hard for them to put together to give you a feel of the film, but also to hype it up for audiences. But the teaser trailer does something really interesting because it's taking just the best parts of the film and it isn't showing you any storyline really. But if it's for something like a slasher, the only parts of action are the kills. So unless you've got a masked villain, you're kind of shit out of luck. But I think where it goes wrong is the new trend we've seen lately, and that is the second teaser trailer. Usually you only get a second teaser trailer if it is a really big film. And so they have a lot of money to spend on marketing. And this is when, and I hate this, you're on Instagram, you're on someone's story, and you're just kind of watching, swiping through, and then in the middle of nowhere, a teaser trailer for a film that you want to see pops up and gives a spoiler. They're not only competing for our attention on TV and when you go to the cinemas to see trailers, they're now on our phones when we're on social media, and there's no escaping it. The thing with horror films though, and I know you guys do this too, we should definitely give it a name. When you see a trailer for the 10th time because you can't avoid it, and you've seen each kill or something happen in the scenes, when you watch that film, you're waiting for those moments. You go, oh, well, I know that this happens to that character. And as soon as that character gets introduced to you while you're watching the film, you're waiting for that moment. So if the character's coming close to dying, but you know there's still a scene where they're happily ever after, it spoils the film for you, obviously. But it also spoils the fun of actually watching the film because you're forever waiting for these moments that you've seen 10 times on these advertisements. And it never really happened before because we weren't seeing trailers so many times over and over and over on our feed, at the cinema. So now you've memorized what's about to happen. I'm not sure if you guys do this too, I'm sure you do. If you're a movie nerd like I am, you definitely do this. So that's why teaser trailers are particularly damaging, because they're only showing you quick montages, and that's enough for you to know where the characters are going to go within the film. Am I making sense? Is it making you angry? Which leads me to the main event, the spoiler trailer. There's one film all of you guys mentioned on Twitter, Pet Sematary 2019. If you have not seen Pet Sematary 2019, it's probably already spoiled for you, but I'm gonna give you guys a second to skip ahead to this time because I don't want to be the one who's spoiling it for you. Okay, spoilers are beginning now. When this movie's trailer first came out, I had so many comments, so many DMs from you guys telling me not to watch the trailer. In fact, Drum Dums, I believe, put up a tweet saying not even to look at the poster. This trailer haunted me. I am a huge fan of the original Pet Sematary, and I was very intrigued by the remake. So when you guys kept telling me not to watch the trailer, it started ticking in my head, what would it be? Someone did a vague tweet saying how it twisted and changed something. So my brain just keeps kind of swirling around with the idea, I wonder what they did. So I'm trying not to think about that and let my subconscious figure it out. And then I'm going to go see movies and this trailer keeps popping up. And this began the trend of me running out of the cinema. You can see me in some of my videos, I record running out or just waiting outside the cinema while a Pet Sematary trailer is on. I also did it during Midsummer, but Pet Sematary particularly because I knew that the trailer gave away so much. I had to run out of the cinema about 5 times, but ultimately it was the poster that ruined it for me. If you have no idea what I'm talking about and you're cool with the spoiler, they changed who dies in the film, which is a very important part of the original story, the book, and they swapped the child who dies, and they show this in the trailer.
He's back.
Church? Daddy.
You can see her in the poster as like, you know, the living dead, a zombie girl. And also, mind you, when I was talking about social media before on Instagram, worst offender, if you type Pet Sematary into the GIF on Instagram stories, she pops up as a zombie girl. It's ridiculous how much they gave away, and they didn't have to. This is what annoys me so much about this Pet Sematary remake. They were doing something in such a different way that they didn't have to hype it up. Everyone was so excited to go see it. I don't know why they had to take that moment and put it in a trailer. It made no sense. It did not make anyone want to see this film. It did the complete opposite, in fact. These kind of trailers are the absolute worst, and this is one of the worst offenders. I am still disappointed. I'm gonna say this loud so the suits in the back can hear. Guys, we do not want to see integral parts of the plot in the trailer. Stop doing it. A great example of this, and it's not horror, is Cast Away from 2000. Again, if you have not seen this, I'll give you a pause and go to this time. And thank you to Wise as Wizards on Twitter for this great example. They say, I've actually stopped watching trailers entirely. I go in blind to every movie I see now. I don't even want to see the poster. Hands down, the worst trailer of all time is Cast Away. I can't believe they did this. I'm still upset over it. This is just a snippet of the Cast Away trailer that they're talking about in this tweet, and you guys are gonna lose it.
Turning our back on time.
I love you. You're the love of my life.
I would rather take my chance out there on the ocean than to stay here and die.
Did you see that? Do you know what I'm talking about? They show the final scene in the trailer. The thing about Castaway is a guy goes on the island and you never know if he's gonna get off. But if you see the trailer, you do know. It's like watching John Wick 1 and knowing there's a John Wick 3, so you know he's fine. But there is hope. There is a different version of the Castaway trailer, and this is just a snippet of that, but obviously it's showing the mood of the film without giving away any plot points. Shouldn't be that hard. Better. But for some reason, it seems to get worse with horror movies. And I think this is because there's so much mystery around a horror movie. What's that noise? Who's next to die? Who's the killer? And with this constant fight for our time and to get our butts in the seats, usually trailers reveal it, but it has the opposite effect. And what's a better example than the new Black Christmas from 2019? At the time of filming this, this has not come out yet, but I mean, we've all seen it. I'm not gonna put the trailer, I'm not gonna play it. It hasn't come out yet. I think that's really unfair to do. But this is one of the films that I have been seeing teaser trailers for and just the spoiler trailer. I've seen it at the cinema and it reveals everything. And I have a feeling you guys have an issue with this one too. If you haven't seen it, don't watch it and do the theater run. And again, I've seen the trailer so many times now that I feel like I'm gonna pick out those scenes throughout the film and it's gonna be much less enjoyable for me. I just hope we go into that film with such low expectations that it blows us away and maybe the trailer was misleading, which leads me to our next issue, misleading trailers. And this next one is brought to you by Seth. Thank you, Seth, for your feedback on It Comes at Night. I almost forgot about this one. If you haven't seen It Comes at Night, please skip to this time. Okay, lots of people love the aesthetic and mood for It Comes at Night, but for many of us, it was a complete disappointment. And this is because of the trailer. The trailer tends to err on the side of mystery and vagueness without revealing answers, which objectively is exactly what I'm looking for. It sets the vibe, but the thing with It Comes at Night is it's not a typical horror film. So showing all the mystery and leaving the audience on a cliffhanger works in a trailer, but when the film ends exactly like that and does not give us a payoff, it has a negative effect. Because as Seth says, it's about paranoia and humans instead of an actual entity. And people got a little pissed off about this. I admit it, this is a rant, I don't have all the answers, I'm just getting this off my chest. This one is a little bit tricky, but I think what would have worked better was maybe a long take scene from the film. It would have given the vibe and the atmosphere without giving away anything. I think it would have been much more effective to do it this way than revealing the film the way they did, because it seems like you find out what the hell's going on and it kind of acts as a twist that you never find out, and it is all about paranoia, but it had the opposite effect. It just left people waiting. The way it was presented to moviegoers, they were expecting a different type of film, and it worked against the movie because their expectations were in a completely different place, leaving them feeling cheated when they walked out of the cinema. Another great example of this is Velvet Buzzsaw. That really hurt to say. I've been stung. If you have not seen this film, please skip to this time. My friend Sarah from Possessed by Horror brought this one up, and I feel personally attacked and like she was trying to trigger me. Thanks, Sarah. This one is hard to say whether it's misleading as much as it's just a poor movie and the trailer made so much more sense than the actual film, but it does give a completely different vibe for the film while also doing a double whammy and revealing the final scene. 2 thumbs down for me. Bad movie, bad trailer, but great cast, and that's why it's so sad. But there is hope. If you're clever and creative enough, sometimes you can use this to your advantage. And one of my favorite horror movie trailers of all time really misled the audience, but it didn't lie to us. It showed the complete vibe and atmosphere of the film without giving away anything. So it was a complete shock when you saw the film. And it went on to be very successful and created a lot of hype. Do you know what I'm talking about? Hereditary. Nightmare Maven and I agree on this one, and also Emily Jade, who seconds it. You'll want to skip to this time if you haven't seen Hereditary.
She isn't gone.
The best thing about this trailer is the fact that you see the funeral at the start, which is the first scene in the film, so it's not really revealing anything, but it tricks you into thinking it's a haunted type film about a grandmother figure, when in fact, The amazing twist in this film is that Charlie, the face of the film, dies, and all of the audio that it plays on the trailer is about her death and not the grandma that you see at the start of the film and in the trailer. So it somehow tricks audiences, but still delivers on all of its promises at the same time. This is magic, and I know not everyone agrees with me, but I think that it really does give the vibe of the film without giving anything away, and still gets you completely intrigued and got people's butts in seats. But I wanna know what you guys think. I just hate, with all of the passion and time we put into these amazing movies, somehow we get it all revealed in a trailer. I just think we need to take a little bit more time and care and think about how we're presenting films to the audience who already wants to see it. Horror movie lovers usually go and see every horror movie. I do anyway, and if you don't watch it at the cinema, you're gonna watch it on DVD or VOD or streaming, but usually horror fans will watch almost anything that is the same genre. We're already excited, people. You don't have to ruin it for us. Thank you to everyone who responded to my tweet about this. I really loved going through all your responses, and I feel like we feel the same about this. It was nice to get it all off our chests together. I hope you guys feel better. I do. If you liked this video, even if you didn't agree with everything I had to say, but you enjoyed your time with me today, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help me out. And let me know down in the comments what you think and what you think the worst movie trailer is, and maybe what you think the best one is. I'll talk to you guys very soon. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and stay spooky, guys. Bye.